Happy Monday. Hopefully everyone had a great holiday weekend, and if you celebrated Easter like me, hopefully it was the best Easter out there. The Easter Bunny hopefully didn't give you a bunch of nasty constipation and diarrhea from probably all the chocolate you're eating, right? Anyways, it's time for a new vlog. My throat's a little raspy. Welcome if you are new to this YouTube channel. This YouTube channel is a conglomerate style video montage. We cover every single thing on here, from the greatest game ever, Runescape, talking about many various topics. So if you do subscribe, and if you do want me to cover a certain RuneScape topic, definitely drop a comment below with your RuneScape username if you want to shout out as well too. Some updates really quickly. Easter video posted on my main channel 2 days ago on Saturday Fun Day. Other YouTube channels has other content. Rune crafting has been halted. Probably going to be regaining my 99 rune crafting momentum probably around May. I'm not gonna lie. I'm actually kind of really looking forward to leagues starting a little over a week from now. Get to more about that, especially when it comes down to old school RuneScape leagues. Otherwise, I did actually start watching a new TV show that I've been wanting to watch for a while. I'm a horror movie guru, if you are unaware, so any movies or TV shows I talk about tend to be very much horror related. Zombies, vampires, demons, ghouls, slashing movies. Chapel Wait, I'm a very big Stephen King fan. Even though the guy is a little bit of a loony bin when it comes to political views. the guy is full. The guy is pretty much a commie. Let me just go ahead and put it that way. Pretty much Chapel Wait is a prequel to Salem's Lot. One of my favorite, if not my favorite, Stephen King novel, and one of the best vampire movies out there. Salem's Lot. There's a bunch. There's a remake, and then there is a sequel as well too. This TV show is primarily a prequel to all of that stuff, set in the 1850s, and I'm on episode number 3 right now out of 10. Or I'm on episode 4. Going to be starting episode 4 tonight. It's honestly a great show. Not gonna lie. So if you are a Stephen King fan, hopefully you're not a commie as well too. Don't really mean to get political, but I mean, hey, I have a bunch. I really love just people in general, and even my liberal friends and Democrat friends are definitely not like commies. I'm very much like in the middle, as pretty much like a conservative libertarian in a way. But yeah, full blown being commie. I definitely believe that good, hardworking people shouldn't bear the price to be giving some free handouts, right? Okay, so RuneScape topic for today, very unrelated to politics. I forgot my bank pin. So, very real, because last night I actually was in a full-blown panic because I legitimately forgot my bank pin on old school RuneScape. And when you go ahead and forget your bank pin on this game, you do get prompted to re-enter a bank pin, and then eventually you go ahead and get locked out. Very, very similar if you ever entered your passcode for the wrong time many times on your iPhone. I actually had one of my asshole friends, while I was actually out at a bar, I was using the pisser, and I forgot to take my phone with me, and for whatever reason he decided to be an ass and purposely lock my iPhone. It was locked for an hour. It kind of made me a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, you know, what if I actually need to use my friggin' phone? So I don't know what was wrong with me last night. Maybe I had too much like really festivities of Easter. Wasn't intoxicated, completely sober. I just logged on this game, and my bank pin has changed so many times over the years. I actually remember all my bank pins. The reason my bank pin has changed is because I I've accidentally shown my bank pin, believe it or not, on stream, which I was like, oh shit. I forgot to really put up like a curtain, pretty much on the screen. So that's definitely prompted my bank pin to change. And yeah, so I don't know why, but I just, for whatever reason, just kept entering my old bank pin that I had. I want to say probably about 6 years ago. And I remember actually the whole reason I changed it was because I was doing a live stream and I legitimately accidentally showed my bank pin. So I ended up changing it, but I don't know why I legitimately kept entering the wrong friggin' bank pin. And I ended up locking my bank not once, but 2 times last night. And I literally said to, and I was saying to myself, laying in bed with my laptop on my lap, my dog is snoozing away, and I'm twiddling my thumbs, asking myself, did my account like get hijacked or something? And I even considered that, like, for a good couple minutes. I'm like, okay, obviously, I am wearing, ultimately, can I uncharge? Yes, you can actually uncharge. So, 3 million GP, I think, for the Berserker ring. Actually, a B ring could be significantly cheaper. I think a B ring is like 2 mil. I could be entirely wrong. Dragon Fire Shield. So let's go ahead and say 5 mil. So 150 million GP of items. If my account got hijacked, like, these items would instantaneously be gone. It just doesn't really make a lot of sense. So I don't know really what made me, and then it just, my brain just sparked, kind of like, hey, dumbass, you're using a old bank pin here. And then I remember that I actually put in my right bank pin. But last night, for about 30 minutes, it was like a nut grabber. And I've actually talked to a lot of people over the years that have legitimately totally forgotten their bank pin. This actually happened to me about a year and a half ago when I reactivated one of my Ironmans. It was my hardcore Ironman, Harambe RH. I have a lot of Ironmans that I've done over the years. My hardcore Ironman obviously has a different bank pin than my main account. Obviously, my Ultimate Ironman has a different bank pin than, like, them all. Obviously, my RuneScape 3 account, which is this account, also has a different bank pin. My RuneScape 3 Hardcore Ironman has a different bank pin. So, what do you really do in that situation? Well, one thing for me is that I do keep a lot of stuff, like, very much written down. Fun fact, if you are going to be keeping a file on your computer or even on your cell phone, don't ever name it passwords. Name the file something entirely different, and definitely span out, like, your passwords, if you know what I mean. Just like some security, like, advice 101, right? You don't want, if somebody is ever going to get into your computer or have access to your files, you want to make it hard for whatever a-hole is doing that to you. So this happened to me like I said, a little bit over a year ago, actually more, where I logged on to my hardcore Ironman and I'm like, oh friggers, like, I don't remember, like, my bank pin. And it's definitely like a kick in the chest, because then you gotta wait X amount of days. I believe it's like 3 days on RuneScape for your bank pin to basically pretty much be, like, reset and stuff. But it is actually a very frequently, like, happen thing. A lot of people do forget their bank pin. And what ends up happening, a lot of the times it's because people, one, they make it really, really secure. They don't write it down, or they don't, put it somewhere on their computer. And what ends up happening is they stop playing RuneScape for, like, a good maybe couple months, or maybe even longer, maybe about a year. and then they log back on and they're like, yeah, I don't remember this friggin' thing. What do you do in that situation? Because you ultimately need, like, I believe it's 3 or it's 7 days. Let's go ahead and say 3 days. And also 7 as well too. What would I be able, like, if I could not remember my bank pin last night and I had to take 3 days off from doing like anything with my bank whatsoever. I won't even be able to do friggin' bird runs. I won't be able to do friggin' frost dragons. I mean, in theory, I might be able to do frost dragons. Like, what I theoretically could do at frost dragons here is I could theoretically teleport to my house. Yeah, I mean, theoretically, I guess I could do frost dragons even with no bank pin. I theoretically could teleport to my house. I have an edge amulet. I have a glory in my house. So I could theoretically teleport to my house to rejuvenate my prayer and HP. Obviously use fairy rings to get back here. And then maybe use some GP or whatever drops I basically pretty much get from frost dragons. I go to the Grand Exchange and I friggin' sell. That is actually one way I could friggin' do frost dragons, as crazy as that sounds, right? So in theory, I could do frost dragons for 3 days, maybe even 7 days without a bank pin. Now let's go ahead and say hypothetically, I was not geared for frost dragons, and I also didn't have like my construction cape in my inventory. What skills could I theoretically do? Well, combat, range, melee, even prayer, it's going to be very hard to do. Could I do rune crafting at Guardians of the Rift? I don't really know. Okay. Obviously, if I forgot my bank pin, doing old-fashioned rune crafting is basically pretty much out of the picture. I can't get to my friggin' bank. Water cheers, by the way. I already got 99 agility, which is hell on earth. I can't get to my... I don't have access to Pyramid Plunder. Although maybe somebody, one of my friends could give me money or give me a scepter. Could do that. Crafting, no. Fletching, no. Wood cutting, I could drop a bunch of logs or deposit a bunch of logs in my bank. That is something theoretically I could do. Same thing with fishing, cooking, no, farming, and even sailing. If I wasn't geared for sailing, I don't believe so. So, for me personally, not having access to my bank pin, it would be hell on earth. It really would be. Now, what did I do on my hardcore, Iron Man? I actually chose the wrong thing to do. The wrong thing to do is to do nothing and wait. Yeah, I actually I chose the nuclear option. Oh, actually, it's not the nuclear option. It is the dumbass option. Theoretically, on my hardcore Iron Man, I could have done a bunch of agility, I guess, right? I think probably that would have been like the smartest, safest like option to really do. But yeah, I honestly chose the no option of just not doing it, which probably not the best. Definitely let me know down below in a hypothetical situation what you would do if you didn't have access to your bank. Now, I remember, like I said, I've been playing this game for a very long time, and I have heard this story time in and time again. Returning players have forgotten their bank pin. They're just going to be doing some fishing. They're going to be doing some wood cutting. If you are not in a old school RuneScape clan, please, if you are in an old school RuneScape clan, don't leave yours. My clan, we are made up of a bunch of conglomerate gamers. Just please be respective. We're all about having a good time, trolling, but there's a difference between fighting people in your own clan versus actually having a good time. Very, very different. A lot of clan members of mine have came back from not playing the game for like even some like maybe 6 months, maybe even shorter, and they have came back and said, "Yeah, I don't remember my bank pin." So, ever since I forgot my bank pin, I want to say honestly, it's probably closer to almost 2 years since I've actually done any Iron Man content. I really should be doing some more Iron Man content, but ever since then, I do keep things actually written down now. Just like I said, being smart when it comes to definitely just in case, you know, God forbid, knock on some wood here, something happens with some bunghole accesses your files. You want to make sure you don't have a text document or a Word document or even an Excel document. If you really want to be sneaky, maybe a PowerPoint document with all your passwords. Make sure it's not named passwords. But ever since then, I do have like stuff actually written down, so to speak. The thing about it though is last night I don't know why I didn't look. It's because one, I was entirely sober. I really wasn't tired. It just my brain had a gigantic fart. So on that closing notion, let me know down below if any of you all have experienced farts on RuneScape, especially around forgetting stuff. Would love to hear y'all. I'm going to be making a new comment video probably later this week. Every couple of weeks, I basically pretty much go through all the comments that you guys leave for me. Basically just read them off in one long video. So stay tuned for that. If you want more from me, definitely check out my horror novel down below in the description. It's a zombie novel, sorry. Not a RuneScape novel, but that's there for added content. Otherwise, I'll see you guys tomorrow for a brand new video on my main channel and also new video on here. Hopefully everyone's feeling good, had a great weekend, and see you all later. Bye.